G'day and welcome to Inforunners. I'm Execute, joined today by old man host himself, Algared. How you doing, bud?
I'm fairly well. Fairly well.
We're
It was a
recording this one
beautiful day today.
recording a little late today, actually. You were a bit sick yesterday, but it's all good. We're all good now.
I was a bit sick, and today was held up with doing stuff for dinner and all that other stuff. So,
Well,
yeah.
it gave me some extra time to get in because I don't actually have this ship. I had to actually, I got on with Nonstop Bops and Grim at one point and a few other people, and I had a look. But yours was actually, we've got a rarity. We're finding very quickly that the triage is a rare beast. It's not something that you see a lot, and as you can see here, Algared's got both. So
what can I say?
Well, it's a part of your completionist pack, isn't it? So
It is part of the pack. But I do think the red one just looks sexier.
And there's ironically, looking at the skins that are out now, I don't actually have this open, but I can very quickly grab them. There isn't actually a red skin that's essentially going to be available for this. So if I just really quickly flick it over to the browser real quick, and yeah, as you can see there, I'll scroll in a bit, so we can kind of see. Yeah, there's the only kind of red one is the one that's very similar to the Terrapin one that was very similar to the one from Cyberpunk. But yeah, looking at the other colors there, it's the only one that really speaks medical to me of those skins. It's a bit strange. Like, educate me. You're a bit more learned than I, but the orange and blue don't speak medical to me at all.
No.
Concierge, and then I guess maybe the white and grey one over there. Maybe.
Yeah, I have seen kind of yellow transport vehicles.
They do have that Furro yellow one in the UK, don't they? Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, I can probably.
And I've seen kind of similar ones in Australia, but they're not actual hospitals. They're just kind of a private transport.
So yeah, there's the Pisces that's blue. That's the Swedish one. So maybe they are, and I just need to think a little bit outside the box a bit more. But again, I would have liked to have seen a red one. I'm going to be honest. It also probably would have lined up with the Meteor skins a little bit. You know, the black and red and the Meteor. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on that.
But mind you, like what's missing on them really is the big medical crosses. You know, the big red cross or big white cross or whatever you're going to use in Star Citizen to designate medical, and that should be on all of the skins regardless. Like if they're skins for the medical ship.
Yeah, it's probably something they're trying to move away from, because I do know the Red Cross actually tried to sue a couple of game companies and stuff to stop them using it. So now when they do crosses, they change them a little bit, and you'll even see within Star Citizen they have tried to make them a little different.
But doesn't change. The iconography you're using for your medical ships should be clearly seen on every skin for the medical ship. So that's just my personal take, but yeah.
So, very first impressions when when I first saw this, someone flew it into a hangar as I was sitting in the hangar, and as soon as it came in, I went, "That's like a bigger mantis." That was my very, very first impression of this, and I will admit it was actually the Medivac variant, and with that kind of yellowish color and the white, so it really did lean a lot more into the mantis look. This one. Technically, this is the lower end version, but I just love the color of it. It just stands out a lot more to me. The red speaks a lot more medical to me. And for anyone that's seen it in game, they're really rare at the moment. Everyone that's in game that I see and every other preview I've seen on YouTube that people have been reviewing,
it's just using the white.
They're all Medivacs. I just don't ever see the triage. This is the first one I've actually seen in person and been in front of, so it is a rare thing. So I did actually encourage Algared to pull it out just for that reason, so we can hopefully get a few more people to see it. Right.
The nice thing about these ships is you do get the modules, and it did take us a bit of time to get the modules in because my modules hadn't loaded, so I had to get back. And
when they go to live, that'll hopefully disappear. But yeah, recopying his account, and we got them to work. So yeah. But so what we're looking at the weapons before. So we've got size the turret on top, which we can do when we get inside. But that's got 2 size 3 Gatlings, and then what we've got size 4 repeater Panthers on the front. And obviously they're all interchangeable. Nothing bespoke there.
Actually, if they're size 4, they'd be Rhino repeaters.
Rhinos, my bad. Yeah.
And if they're size 3s, then they'd be Panthers. But yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, very nice looking weapon. But it's a gun.
One thing I will say about the flight experience, it is very interesting because it's a 2-seater vehicle. You know how you and I always talk about different flight experiences. It's off to one side, which is unique for a lot of the RSI ships. They're almost always very centered. Think Connie, think Zeus. And just being off to the sides, it's very interesting. And also when the guns fire, they're off to one side. So it's I'm always after different flight experiences. And I did actually enjoy that about this ship quite a lot.
Yeah, and that does give you. From the time I very first saw this, I thought this originally was a cut down Connie. With the size increase, I actually think it definitely is it does fit into that cut down Connie mode now. The fact that it's only got 2 nacelles rather than 4.
Yeah. So yeah. I heard back from Grim, and he told me that it's 64.4 meters long, which actually makes it like 1.5 meters longer than or what was it, 3.5 meters longer than the Connie being 61. So it's actually grown considerably. And it doesn't seem to have widened. It is also technically wider because of the little, it's got these little winglets that fold out like the Polaris off the sides of the engines there. So once it's all kind of deployed and stuff, it actually is just a little bit wider than the Connie as well. So it's a significant grow. I think the first thing a lot of people notice is just how low it appears to the ground. And I think that's just because you'd agree with me on this, the elevator on the Connie is just not here. So it's got no reason to be so high up, so to speak.
Yeah. And well, you also don't have those lower nacelles on the Connie. Like those lower nacelles, because of the way the Connie's nacelles are, 2 above, 2 below, that actually forces the Connie to be higher as well. And those nacelles on the Connie, they are your landing gear as well. So that's where your main landing gear is. So that actually does push the ship up higher. But yeah, I think this also makes it easier for bringing vehicles or trolleys into it. If you've got a steep ramp, it's going to make it harder to do that. So I think that's CIG is kind of thinking of those types of problems. We know they thought about that when they were doing the Idris, and they adjusted the ramp or the height so you didn't have that massive, million-mile long.
Yeah, so that maturing of
ramp just to get vehicles in. Yeah,
the maturing of the pipeline again. Yeah. She's definitely even learning improvements from the greebling on the Polaris. Like, notice how they're a little bit more subtle now. They're a little sharper. They're cleaner. They're definitely really maturing that pipeline. It's getting impressive. That's all I'm going to say. Like, my takeaway for this ship as we go through this is, and I'm going to kind of just cut to the chase here, and I did say it to Algared before, is looking at this ship, and if you cannot, as someone that doesn't own an Apollo but do own other RSI ships, especially something like the Connie, looking at the ramifications for those older RSI ships when they come back around again, I can't not seeing the effect. And the interesting thing, you'd agree with, Algared, when we get inside, is just how
much space there said to be.
How it's kind of like somewhere between the new Zeus and the older Connie. You can start to see it's bridging that age gap.
Yeah, and well, that is true. And the fact that you've got a Zeus, which is a very old model, but then a Zeus Mark II, which has been modernized, and you've got the Connie and the Auroras that are in the middle. And this, when it first came out, like I said, I always thought this screamed Connie vibes. It screamed a different, but starting with a Connie as a base and then modifying it out. And I think it's still true. But it's as I was running through the ship to turn it on before, I thought, wow, this is a very large interior. It's very wide, felt very roomy and spacious. Whereas the Connie, on the other hand, doesn't feel like that. It feels more cramped and claustrophobic.
All right, so this review is going to be a little different when it comes to what we normally do, because we do have to look through 2 ships. What me and Algared decided to do was we put different beds in each. So I believe, Algared, what have you got in the white one?
In the white one, we've got a tier 3 module and a tier 2 module.
Yep. So we're gonna go through the beds first because because we've got 2 variants. I want to take this out for a fly, so we've kind of got to do this a little bit segmented more than usual. But we'll come back and talk about things like the docking collar and that as we go through. So we're going to start with the rooms. I know that sounds probably a little bit unorthodox what me and Algared normally do, but we're just going to change it up a little bit because of the nature of this. So I'm going to start with the 3s, and then we'll go to the. We could actually probably do the 2 and the 1 in the other one, couldn't we?
That's a 2. That's a no. That's a tier 1, tier 3.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is we'll do the 3s in this one because the other one's got the tier 1 and the tier 2, so we can just do the 3s and then move on. So essentially, this is actually on par with 3s we've seen. The first thing I noticed that differentiated this from the other 2 is the diagonal of the beds. It almost retained that style that's actually lost on the other 2 rooms. And the original design, if you go back and look at the concept image, was the rooms themselves were diagonal as well. So I found that very interesting. I do think in time, I don't know if this is going to be true, so take everything I'm about to say here with a grain of salt. But if you've seen the tier 1 bed, when we go over and look at it later, it actually appears to me that these beds are a form of spawning closet. And if you kind of look at what I'm saying here, is I can almost see that the bed's going to go back in there, and that's how the body will kind of come out. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that makes a lot of sense to me, how they like bring you out as they spawn you and then kind of bring you out on the bed.
And if you think about the way they were going to do the shepherd drone, the shepherd drone would pick you up and take you into the ship, and then it would kind of spawn you on the bed. That kind of makes sense for it to be a spawning, that type of arrangement. So, and if I do have a bed pull in or pull you out, it then means if they do decide to bring the drones back in at a later point, they've still got the tool. It's, I imagine it's not as big as a bigger change to bring that in.
So they do have 3 patient storages. That's what I was trying to look for. I was looking for the 3rd one. And it's the same on the 2. I know they've got 1 for each and 1 on the other one. This also actually takes tools like med pens, the medical gun, and stuff like that. So that's akin to what you would see with a gun rack, but essentially for medical stuff. So yeah. All right, so we can probably move on to the red one now and go for a little fly. And there's a reason why I want to go for a fly at Algared. But I think the last thing we'll talk about before we get off the ground is probably the docking collar. Would you be able to fly for me though, Algared? Is that possible?
Yeah, I can fly.
And I want you to head towards the pyro jump point. That's where we're going to be heading today. Actually, one last thing. Actually, I'll enter via the front with you on this one, because there's a very cool little thing they've done that I so want to see done with the Connie. If you haven't seen this, have you had a chance to get in this at the front?
No.
Oh, you need to come do this then, because this will impress you. So this is how it comes down. Now, remember I said ages ago I'd love to see an elevator inside the landing gear. You could totally see with how that base came down, you could actually do that as the landing gear. But now go up and notice, look above you. Can you see the tube that you're in?
Yeah, I see the light. I see the light.
Yeah, now go up and watch what happens. It's going to be very interesting for those of us down here, but I'll take the long way around. Oh, actually, no.
Oh, very nice. A very nice. I was wondering what that thing was before. As I ran through the ship, the kind of the box.
Yeah. So,
but I do really like the and people see what I mean when you come in. I do really like the table and chair setup.
Yeah. So here we've got this
out of the way.
So here we've got a glass airlock. So that's what it does. Like that's how they've actually taken on. Do you want to go back down for me just so I can film it, Algared, real quick?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it seals it with you in a glass tube, which is a really great way to take on the problem that the Connie had, where it had to kind of drop, seal, then drop. It's just I just love that. Amazingly simple,
that sealed glass tube is actually
elegant.
Locks you into the airlock, drops you down, brings you back up, and then
come back up, and we'll in action again. Really cool. And then if you come over here, Algared, you can actually press that button on the left, on that terminal there. You just press the one on the left, and all packed away and flush. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. All right.
Very nice. Yes.
So we're talking about the table. Yep. Very nice and
so
clean,
nicely tucked away. It doesn't need to be like the Connie's is, where it's kind of a pull-up table, pull down. Even the seats look. I say, if you look at the Connie seats, the impression you get is not comfort. That gives that impression of comfort. I know it sounds weird to say it, but that's a video game. What does it matter? But
all right, one last thing we're going to do on the outside before we can actually take off. So again, I know I'm running. Normally we like kind of move through the ship, but we're going a little bit all over today. Is the airlock? We do need to talk about this. So I've had a few people that thought this was completely over-engineered. They didn't understand why. And then I've had a few other content creators that have actually caught on to what this is, and it is actually a docking collar. But the one thing I think a lot of people have missed is it's actually 2 docking collars, right? So if you actually come out here to the outside, now, Algared, you would understand from the shape of this what it is straight off the bat. Just be careful, because when I close this, it does actually close the ramp as well. So we're kind of going to get sealed in here a bit. You can actually fit a PTV in here, by the way, or a Steve. They only just fit.
Now that looks like a station docking collar.
Yeah, so you've actually got 2. So the giant hexagon looking one around the outside, as you would know, is a capital one, and the round one is the standard one. So this actually means that this ship can connect to everything.
It can connect to stacked Connies with their round thing. It can connect to an Aurora with its round docking collar. But it can also connect to an Idris or a space station
And the only ones we've seen this on up until this point have been some of the capital ships that have 2 docking collars at once. So that is another unique feature of this ship that I've yet to see in a ship. Well, it's easily the smallest one I've seen this on. So yeah, it does say docking collar there, so that kind of does explain the weird transformation. But yeah, it is really interesting to kind of see that animation, and I know a lot of people don't understand why it's so complicated, but that is in fact why. All right, Algared, if you want to,
that is a huge nice addition to a ship.
Yeah,
and it does lean into the ship being very very versatile in that role. And then to the left and right here in the entrance, we do have our cargo bay. So
yeah, I'll go through that if you want to start taking us towards Pyro and to the jump point, and just let me know when you get to the jump point and just park us there. So one thing I did want to go over real quick is, like, when we were talking about different styles, one of the things I did want to talk about is this door. It's going to sound weird, but these are the exact doors off the Zeus. These ones here, they open up exactly the same, but this one here is unique, and I think it's kind of like showing that it's somewhere between the Connie doors and an older style, and this is what I'm starting to get at with where it's starting to bridge the gap between the Zeus and the Connie. And other things that do that too are things like the white aesthetic as well. It's somewhere between the Zeus and the Pioneer and the Connie. Like, you can start to see that it's sharing more of those artistic styles, so it's starting to bridge this like 900-year gap of I don't know what to call that, history, I guess you would call it. Hey, Algared? Yeah. So now we get into what Algared was talking about with the Connie, the cargo, sorry. It's got 14 SEU either side. These 2 rooms are mirrored. You can only bring in 1 or 2 SEU cargo containers based on the size of the docking collar at the back. But you got to remember, this is mainly a medical ship, and even having 28, that's double what the Vulture and the Vulcan has, as an example. So they are the small profession starters. This would put this kind of a step above that. Again, 2 suit lockers, gun racks. Most of the components back here are like the shields, relays, and I'm trying to remember the other thing was the gravity thing. And it's almost mirrored on the other side with the components. It is slightly different. It does have a shield, but it also has the battery. What was the other one? But yeah, very interestingly done, kind of simple. Both variants say triage up here. I don't know if that means it's going to get different signage eventually when it goes live. But obviously this is where they look after people. The one thing I do notice, as you would have noticed here, Algared, is the table and waiting area is gone.
Yep.
There is no waiting area.
I did notice that. The table and waiting area is no longer there. And I thought that was a nice change. Like, it does really open up that area for the possibility for cargo or even a vehicle down the track. But yeah, it's
So the other components are obviously here in the neck. The main function of this neck is obviously to visually cull the two more extreme parts of the ship, which is why that's in. But yeah, most of the components here are just in the neck. And oh god, it's not working. Here we go. Open. There we go. So yeah, most of the components all in a central location. So most of them are protected. Obviously got an engineering console here as well. Yeah, all very nice to have and convenient because that's not the main function of this ship. All right, back to this. Personal storage above the beds, fire extinguisher. Very similar aesthetics to the Zeus. I think you'd agree, Algared. A bit of Mantis vibes in here as well. The reworked Meteor.
It's definitely got the RSI vibes. It definitely feels like an RSI ship. I think they've done a really nice job of blending both the RSI, the old RSI aesthetic with the new RSI aesthetic, i.e. the Mantis. And you know, when the Mantis came out, again, I thought the same thing. I thought it was a really nice RSI vibe. I can't say I felt the same about the Polaris. The Polaris for me was the ship that really moved away from it, the RSI aesthetic. Mantis seemed to have it.
I'm actually wondering if they're going for like a military RSI and more of a civilian RSI.
Yeah.
Again, we'll have to see a little bit more as that. It's probably not necessarily. We're going to need a bit more military to really know. But yeah. I did have some weird bugs in this ship last night. When I was non-stop bops. If I sit in this co-pilot seat, he was unable to set the route. I had to set the route. He had to then move the ship to look at the point, and then when I pressed mouse 1, it jumped us. So it was like this weird juxtaposition, and he owned the ship. That was the weird thing. So there's no way it was me overriding him or anything like that. It was just this weird thing where it was almost like a co-pilot setting the navigation and starting the jump drive. So I'm going to try and stay out of the seat for a little bit to allow you to get us underway. Yeah. What's your take on the kind of half strut, not strut? Because I think it's a good blend here where they've kind of like made the little gap that you can kind of see through, but then left the main peripheral completely open as well.
I actually don't mind the struts. You rotten thing.
The struts, you were saying?
No, it dropped itself out of pyro jump.
Oh, okay.
You know, most annoying when it does that.
We did have the bug last night where you had to look away, look back a few times, but there we go. All right, I should be able to get in the seat now so we can have a look around externally again as we're warping. Yeah, I really do like that red paint. So what I want to talk about now is the stuff on the bottom. You can kind of see those two little red lines in the middle of the base area there. That is actually the drone bay door that will open, and that's where the drone will go in and out.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's still getting the drone. It makes a lot of sense to me unless that gameplay has really changed. I think it's really just been put in because they wanted to make most of the medical changes and they wanted those a ship that had all the different tier beds in there. I do firmly believe they'll still get this. On top, though, how we're in the dark at the moment, you can actually see that sensor that deploys as well. It's exactly the same sensor that's on the Cuddy Scout and the Terrapin. So, you know, which puts it on par with... And
I think that clearly says that sensor on the... It seems to be more
a biosensor?
Actually, I was going to... A bio, you know, a biosensor or a medical sensor.
Hanging it up with the drone. Yeah.
The drone, I think the drone thing, given that the drone was supposed to take you to the bed, I think really does lend itself to that fact that you're going to have that spawn closet when it comes in. I think the drones are just going to be...
no, well, I was kind of saying, you remember I was talking about the bed, how it kind of like deploys you onto the bed? I think that's how it's going to work. It's going to take you up into the ship and then deploy you onto the bed. That was so not only does that's how it like regenerates you, I think that is actually a function of how it's going to work. They essentially, the beds are a form of like a very small spawn closet. And I'll go over that when we look at the other two in a minute.
No, I think, like I was saying before, I think that enables them, if they do bring the drone in, it ties in with how they'd get you from the drone to the beds. So it makes perfect sense. Do they bring the drones in? As John said in the thing, they've still got the space for it. if the drone play comes in a later point and it warrants it, they'll put it in.
Yeah. I do see this as a step up from the Cutlass Red and a step down from the Galaxy. I can now see the Galaxy is based around having all the different beds. So you've got all that functionality, and it's got the Pisces C8R that it can put in the back to kind of send down to the planet to pick someone up, or drop off an Ursa to do that. So it's kind of like the bundle of, it covers all the little bases, where this is powerful, but it can find the person and pull them out with the drone. Where when you go a step down below that, you obviously can find people, but it might be hard to recover them with a Cutlass Red.
Yeah, well, you'll remember the Cutlass Red had that kind of airlock at the back where you'd open up, you'd pull them in, and then you go into the ship. So that was a nice thing. But that one, you were taking you were either pulling them with either your Mobiglass, or not your Mobiglass, your hand tool, or literally EVAing and pulling them back. The drone in this would have been a step up. But even just the beds, even just that step up in the beds, makes a significant difference as well.
Yeah. So
I need to go back to flying.
Yeah, you need to go back to flying. But yeah, you can start to see that it's actually a very picturesque ship. I had a lot of fun flying it visually. It is a very, very pretty ship. I'm a big fan. But I'll take us up to the joint point, but don't go through yet, because I'll come back, because I want to go across the beds before we go through. So yeah, we'll start on tier 2, and we'll go through those. So yeah, tier 2 over here. So obviously the beds become straight, like in the tier 3, but then you get a cleaning sink here as well. Both rooms do actually have this toilet. Real quick, my only gripe with the entire ship at all is that this doesn't have a shower, and it is such a tiny gripe, but it's such a big bathroom for just a toilet and a sink. It's like it's missing things. Now, I know someone might say, oh, it's for wheelchairs, which it could be for as well. But I just think it's a real missed opportunity. Why wouldn't you have a shower to clean yourself up and stuff like that? And anyone that's been to hospital will tell you that that's exactly what they have in every patient's room. They have a shower as well, so the person can look after themselves. So I do think that's a bit of a missed opportunity. All right. Basically, as we said before, you've got your patient. You'll notice there's the 2 patient storages. The one over there disappears, and exactly the same in every other way except that. They all have this special shelf as well for the med goo, which holds currently up to about 1 million Alpha UEC worth of med gel. I do not have one on me, but trust me, they do fit on that shelf, and that is mainly its storage. So every ship can hold up to 2 million worth of that gel,
which is great in terms of being able to heal. But it also, unfortunately, given that the gel is expensive, it also makes hospital ships targets for piracy.
Yeah. So this is where my theory of the way things respawn becomes a little bit difficult for me, because I can't see how this bed kind of does the respawn climate maneuver. So I don't know. It might do it in a way that I can't think of right now. But I just can't see it doing the spawn closet thing like I can with the tier 3 bed. So maybe I'm completely off the mark there. And maybe, again, in the comments, let me know your thoughts. And I'm sure Algared will share his in a minute on how they could do that. But when we go over to the tier 1 bed over there, it's very evident how you do it over there. So yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, just looking at this, I could possibly see that central pillar under the bed being lowering down into the floor. But yeah, I'm a bit perplexed myself as to how you'd use a spawn closet idea for this bed.
Well,
whereas the other ones seem obvious.
I think we could both evidently agree something comes down from the roof, because they've got these light beams here. So again, we'll have to kind of wait and see how they see it. I could be completely off the mark. One thing I did notice is that the glass is so damn thick, Algared. Have a look at the door when you walk out. It's like 6-inch glass. Like it's like so thick you could see into the future type of thing.
It's bulletproof.
It's something.
It's armor. It's interior armor. You lock the door and the patients are locked in there. They're not getting out.
Yeah, so by comparison, this room's a bit sparse. You can see they kind of put little walls in. They put in some like extra oxygen tanks. I probably would have had a little bit of reference to real world stuff, like, you know, when you go to they have all the little gauges and air tanks and all that. So I think that's kind of where some of this comes in. Algared, I'm going to ask you to jump on the bed for me. I don't know if I'm going to get this to work, but if I access this terminal, it should deploy you into the tube like it's an XMRI machine. See if it's going to do it. I don't know if it's going to do it or not. Have a look. If I go patient care, nope.
Well, how about?
Not going to work. Nope, it's not going to work.
Nope.
But I have actually seen clips of this where the person is actually like goes back into the tube, and that's how it does in there. So you could almost see that as a respawn client, I'm pretty sure. Again, if tier 1 is the only bed that you can fully be regenerated on, you see where I'm going. So maybe that's why the tier 2 doesn't need the regeneration. But I was thinking along the lines of it, how it deploys you with the drone. As Algared said, maybe it comes down from the roof or it goes into the floor or something like that. So it's those last little mysteries that we don't have, and a lot of them are just tied to the drone, aren't they, Algared? Like how that's going to kind of work. And I have to assume it's along the lines of spawning and despawning somehow. But yeah, you can get up there, mate. I don't know how I'm going to get that to work. I do know the different beds have different ways you can put the medgel in, and apparently it goes in here on this one. If you go on to the tier 2 beds, I know the tier 3 ones are on the wall. But they're not actually, yeah, there you go. So there's the ones for the tier 2 beds, but they're not actually functional right now. So there's obviously some teething issues before this thing goes live. But yeah. Is there anything else you want to go over specifically, Algared? I think I've covered everything now.
I do kind of like the sink in the middle here, between the two beds.
Well, you see that's kind of what I was talking about, how they've put in functional things, but like when you go over look at the tier 1 bed, there's nothing functional like that. Like
it's barren, yeah,
it's a bit barren. So I you know, just a bit of a feedback for CIG. I would like to see, you know, if this is the top tier bed, shouldn't it have the sink as well? Shouldn't it have some, you know, some other doohickeys in here?
Ideally, you know, like the bathroom was originally, from memory, those bathrooms were originally for the doctors to prep room. You know, that was their washroom, their suiting up room, and all the rest of it. And yet now it's just a patient. Looks like a patient toilet. Patient.
Yeah.
Getting tongue tied there.
Yeah, a patient's lavatory, basically. So yeah, again, it's quite a big room. And there's other weird things, like with all the extra space in here. Why did the ship grow? Because again, these toilets could have been smaller. You know, you removed the reception. Why didn't you make this a little shorter? You know, things like that. I know there's extra screens here as well. Like, again, they say this is for triage, so I have to assume that this is some kind of medical scanner in here somewhere. That like, you know, you bring them in on a bed or something, and somehow you scan them before you send them off to the tier 1 or the tier 2 or the tier 3. So this,
and maybe that's what it does, you know. But if you're using a drone,
you'd assume that would do the triage before you even got there.
Maybe those scanners are drone, you know, Shepard drone consoles or control consoles, you know.
You're postulating, but I agree with you. Like, there is some mysteries left here, and I totally agree with you on that. All right, I'm gonna go take this for a bit of fly while you and I just have a general. Actually, no, I need you to fly because I want to camera this in third person if that's okay. So, take me to the jump point, sir.
Oh gosh, no! You know how many times I've been for a jump point?
It's all going to be on camera now, Algared. Game faces
that means
on.
We're going to crash. That means, you know, chances are, we're gonna crash, and Winner will be laughing.
Yes. All right. But I think, as I said earlier, I think the main takeaway for me on this ship is what it means for RSI. You know, a lot of people will probably dismiss the Apollo as just a medical ship or whatever. But you know, RSI having more history than anyone else, and you know this better than I do, Algared, because you're the lore guy between the two of us. You know, they really are going to set the standard for the, I guess, the width or breadth of our history of ships is kind of covered in Star Citizen. You know, they've got some pretty iconic ships, like as big as the Bengal and stuff like that. And then obviously the Aurora right at the other end. So I start to even think of things like the Aurora rework. What does it mean for that? Like, are they going to Zeusify the crap out of that thing, or are they going to really lean into the age stuff? And again, we'll have to wait and see. I'm very interested to see if you're actually going to be able to jump this, or am I going to have to jump it? Oh, it's working for you. That's good. He's shot the thing out. Nope, and then he went back too far.
I'm not going back.
on my screen,
I know.
You got pumped back because you basically flew into the jump point and it pumped you backwards.
Right. I'll just have to fly in again. We'll just try it. Hang on.
Just don't go so fast. That's the problem. It's all good.
It's called not flying through jump points that often. I think I've flown twice.
I did a lot of flying through jump points, and
I know you were testing it a lot in Algared.
Because I knew it had a lot of connotations for how things network-wise worked and stuff. And if you go back and look at where this was 12 months ago and how laggy it was, they had to turn off all the effects and everything. And now you kind of essentially come to 12 months later, and all the effects are back in. It looks really, really pretty, and it's smooth as. Like, generally, I don't have any hiccups at all. So yeah, it really is an impressive piece of work now to see in action. I think I would definitely like to, like the video you and I did on the Apollo Phoenix. I would really, I know CRG probably don't want to go, oh, another shit we're gonna make, but yeah, I would really like to see them. If they didn't use the Apollo hull, I would still really love to see them split the Phoenix off and make it its own ship.
Yeah.
I think it would.
So activating a jump point.
Yep, just press mouse 1 and it should.
That's what I did.
Yep. Maybe I've got
it doesn't do it at the moment.
Press it again. Mouse 1?
Mouse 1?
Right, I'll get out of the chair. Oh, there you go. You got it.
I had to double click it.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I did want to film that, but that's all good. All right, there we go. Yeah. Super pretty. Yeah, because I went through this the other day in the Apollo, and I was like, yeah, that's something I want to grab on camera. Just how pretty the game's gotten. Yeah. Kind of makes you forget sometimes, Algared, like how far we've come. We've probably got just as far to go again. But yeah.
Well, I was telling you I'd been playing
Kingdom Come Deliverance?
Kingdom Come Deliverance, and one of the things about Kingdom Come Deliverance that I find is really nice is just looking at the way the characters are.
Ooh. All right. Can give me scores in the comments of Algared's flying through the jump. I can see points falling off as we go. But yeah. But
well, we're over halfway now.
Yeah. But yeah, what I'm really trying to show here is just how smooth this has got with all the effects and stuff. I think yeah, very big kudos to CIG. Like this is an outstanding achievement in my book. How this looks and how seamlessly it flows and everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is certainly a lot better than the first time I flew through.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. So that's the takeaway I'd probably recommend from today's episode is just what this ship does actually mean for ships going forward. You know, there's a lot of little connotations here. Medical, like when we come back to do a review of this thing, a lot of it I think will be a lot more on the actual review side of it and the medical. But I'm going to be honest with you, like if you're into medical, it is in a little bit of a sweet spot. Like you're not dealing with a bigger ship, but you're getting a lot of the functionality, like especially with the tier 1 bed, like you know, like that's massive. But the other thing I'll say is like being in the PU now, I don't generally get to tier 1 injuries very much. You kind of are a lot more reluctant now. You can kind of start to see we're starting to get into that area of disable, not kill. That's even in the FPS. Like you get shot a bit and you don't get an injury, and then you get shot a bit more and you get a tier 3, then you get shot a bit more and you get a tier 2. And now, because you know you only have a tier 3 bed, you don't have a tier 2, for example, as soon as you hit that tier 2, you're like, oh, okay, I've got to leave, I've got to fly back to one of the stations like Everest or something like that, and get that fixed, because it's just going to get worse and worse. And so even instinctively, I am more cautious now, and I think it's going to be the same repercussions for everyone.
And it's going to get more and more as Death of the Spaceman becomes closer.
Yeah,
that will be
the norm. It will be the norm.
Sorry, yeah. I had to stop there because I got a collision warning.
Yeah, he's trying to do 2 things at once. Mere male.
That's right. I'm a mere male. I can't do 2 things at once. So I'm going to stop it there so that I can actually talk and concentrate on
please.
Talking.
That's fine. I'll just take some nice little shots while you do so. But yeah. Yeah, it's a very, very nice ship. Visually, I cannot fault it. I think I'm repeating everything I've basically said at this point. So yeah, you say your piece, Algared.
Yeah, look, we'll wrap up. It is a gorgeous looking ship. It's probably, I think at the moment, one of the best RSI ships we've seen. And that's pushing the bar pretty high. I really loved the Mantis when it came out. The look of the Mantis, the interior feel of the Mantis.
You can definitely tell they shared stuff going up. Yeah.
But the Mantis was just a one-trick pony. And the desire to see a variant of a Mantis, I can fully get behind, because it was such a beautiful frame of ship and a model of a ship. Why wouldn't you want to see more of that? This ship, I think, is just as beautiful, if not more so. And yet, because of the medical ship, it's kind of that I want to keep it medical, but I also want to see that variation. And I think that really lends into having that big medical logo iconography on the sides.
If you roll
to differentiate.
If you roll the ship for me, I'll actually, because it's in the dark on the other side, if you roll the ship for me, I'll zoom in on the triage logo and show you that. It's on the other side. So you'll have to do like a 180 for me, like a Q or E roll.
Yeah. I'll just get back into the pilot seat and...
Oh, you got out? Oh.
Yeah, I was going to...
Oh, well, you get out then and I'll... Oh, never mind.
Oh, no, I'll do it. Oh,
you went too far. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, stop. Perfect. So there you go. You can see the triage there and the sunroof. Yeah, perfect. And the medvac. I actually prefer the triage logo because of the way it's integrated into the cross.
Yeah. But I would like to see, on every one of the skins, that medical iconography, that massive cross or whatever CIG are going to use for their medical gameplay. I'd like to see that on every skin that's for a medical ship.
Algared, we almost forgot the most important thing of the entire review. Wait, I can probably do it in my chair. I just realized. Let me get back in.
Oh, the turret.
Nope. The turret. Nope, it's not the turret. How's that the most important thing? Don't be crazy, young man.
Oh, the beds. I don't know.
No.
I have no idea.
It's these. The wee-woo lights.
The wee-woo lights. Yes.
They kind of go white and red. They don't go, which is correct for most ambulances, by the way. White and red is the way to go, not white, red and blue, like the police ones. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I do actually like that a lot. Look, realistically, across the board on this ship, you'll notice that everything that me and Algared probably talk about today when it was negative is really nitpicky. Like, it is totally showing just how refined RSI is becoming, and they are getting better and better. That bar is being pushed higher and higher every year.
Every RSI ship they've brought out is just, the bar is so much higher. And
well, even ships in general, they get higher and higher, right? I can go back to like, I remember the first time, like, the MSR came in as an example, and we got the new consoles, and almost every ship that's come after has always had something that the other ship didn't have. And we're now getting to this mature state where the current standard of ships that are coming out is just like
night and day compared to...
We're already beyond other games, right? We're already beyond other games just out of the gate, but like, it's now getting to the level where it's just
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was looking. As I said, I was playing Kingdom Come, and the characters in Kingdom Come, they look good, but they're not a patch on Star Citizen's characters.
Yeah.
The movements of the characters. One of the things that I thought was, gee, the character feels clunky rather than smooth, like in Star Citizen, and that surprised me. The layering of cloth, yes, they've actually got layering, but you still get it bleeding through, and that was one of the things I know Chris really hated and wanted to fix. And
to Algared's benefit, they were originally meant to share their character tech with CIG, but obviously things have changed within CIG since way back when. They've had 2 games come out. And we still don't have Star Citizen or Squadron. But the point I'm trying to make, though, is because of that extra funding, they've been able to go back and grow it out even more, as you're saying.
Yeah, and if I do think from memory, I do think they even did give them some of their cloth tech back in the day when they were developing Kingdom Come. I could be wrong. I could have remembered wrong. I could be just.
Yeah, they were meant to. I don't know if they did. Algared, could you do me a small favor while we're talking? Can you get out of the chair and go stand under that skylight, just for some gigs?
Yeah, sure.
While we're talking, but I think we can kind of wrap it up there. But I guess I'll ask is, what would you like to hear in the comments below from people, Algared, about the Apollo and their first impressions, I guess.
Yeah. What did you like about the Apollo? What didn't you like about the Apollo?
Or have you had a chance to even
have you had a chance to look at the Apollo?
Yeah.
I do want that double corridor just kind of makes me feel too like it's too
What do you mean? The neck?
No, but yeah, the neck does make me feel like it's too Crusaderish.
Oh, a little bit, yeah, I can see. But you know why it's there? It's to basically cull the beds that have all that tech in there. They can despawn all that. Yeah, I understand why.
Despawn all that and not need it. Yep, 100% understand it. But
actually see. Can we actually see you there? I can't actually see you.
If you zoomed in, you might.
Oh yeah, you got to walk back into the white more. Walk right.
Walk back into the white.
No, back. I can see your shadow, but walk backwards. Yeah, keep going back, and off to the right. Your right. Yeah, there we go. So now there you can see him there. Yeah, cool. He's that tiny little speck, but yeah. It actually works. All right. Well, from my point of view, I guess it would just be like, do you see for the comments? Do you see what this means for other RSI ships? Are you seeing that bar getting pushed up and up like me and Algared are? This probably took a little bit longer to do than I thought it was going to take, but
yeah. Look, I do think this. If this is what we're doing for a kind of a mid-period ship, I think this speaks volumes for what the Connie and the Aurora are eventually going to look like.
Well, I even look forward to just this year. What does it mean for the Perseus? Like how has that grown on the Polaris from last year? What does it mean for the Galaxy? You know, what I mean? These are the questions I ask. Like if this is where this is at, what are they going to be at? You know, like every year, it's you can just looking between this to the Polaris, you can see it's grown again. Like it's like 10-20% extra. It's like leaps and bounds. They're making quality improvements.
Yeah, and that's it's just awesome. Like
kudos. It's kudos to them. I can't fault them. They are going further. And again, as I said, everything they've done is just tiny little things. Like they've obviously looked at the reception room and going, well, this isn't really needed. But then again, like maybe they'll go back eventually and go, well, maybe these do need showers, right? Again, I've just got to trust in their gameplay decisions and hope that they've made the right choice. But again, I can also look there and give criticisms like, why is this so big when it could have shrunk a bit? You know.
Now, with the reception area, because that area was originally supposed to be, a kind of a mobile clinic, and that was the way they were selling it with the reception area. It'd be nice to see if they could have that reception desk kind of be a pop-up. So if you do go to a planet and you are doing a mobile clinic, you could actually have that pop up and have walk-ins. But
there is precedence.
Again, that's just
there is precedence for that too. The was one of my drawbacks for the Polaris. Their reception hall was also meant to, the dining area or mess or whatever you want to call it, was also meant to be a rec room, and the chairs folded down into the floor, and it didn't do that in the final version. So again, that would be a cool thing for them to bring back.
And one of the things with Polaris, I think, wasn't it that rec room, the table was also supposed to
everything
from a pool table to a rec table type thing.
And the chairs went into the floor, and then you could play pool.
But then
they ended up moving up all against the wall and changed it all. So
But you also have with the Connie itself, you've got the Connie Phoenix with the table or the piano. You've got the Connie table, the Connie crew table in the neck of a ship as well. On all the Connies where that goes down or comes up. So
you could totally see a modular variant where they just change those modules, and one becomes the bedrooms and one becomes like the bar and the piano or a spa or whatever, you know. I could totally see that. I'd be really surprised if we don't, maybe there's a variant in there that's just a luxury variant of the Apollo. It's something else.
And if you do a variant where you've got beds and living quarters or stuff like that, you can get rid of the walls on the module. The module just clicks in. It gives you a wide open space. So I could see lots of ways they could do variants that change this. But my key thing, and this is nitpicking, is I'd like to see every skin for the medical ships have that big, massive Red Cross or medical cross on it, and all the variants can't get that, can't put those skins on, do not get that cross or anything. So there's that visual confirmation
and as I said, I think the only reason they wouldn't do it that is the legal reasons. So I'm not sure on that. I'd have to check back into that, but I believe there is a legal reason there they can't do that anymore.
And often games will use a green cross, but like I said, whatever iconography they're using for medical,
they need to highlight.
That's what I want to see on all the medical ships as a big highlight, whether it's a hospital ship, ambulance, or whatever. And then on any variant that's not that, cannot put that on. And so it becomes distinct for medical ships, just with that visual recognition when you're flying up and that's a medical ship. Yeah, I better not attack it. That type of thing. So
I just remembered one thing I didn't show, and I totally forgot about it. I was actually turning the ship then when I was in the co-pilot seat. Interesting. The fuel port. I'm gonna have to EVA to show this one, but I will show it very briefly. Because I did forget to show it. It's the things you remember right at the end when you're going, did I forget anything? Yeah, I did. So it was the.
And we did talk about the fuel port, and I do like that. The RSI kind of docking port there. It's quite nice.
So just here on the back it's just here. So you click open and there's your fuel port, so you can actually refuel your ship. So yeah, all ships coming now will have that ground refueling. But
which is nice.
Is everything, I think, Algared?
Yep. No, I think that's probably it. But a very beautiful, lovely ship from RSI. And we've got.
And I just realized I didn't show any of that. I'll do it again. Oh God! Right. All right. So it's down here at the back, and just down here, kind of the opposite side to where you close and open the ramp, is the fuel port. There you go.
And it pops out, and
you can.
But yeah, it's a beautiful ship. What more can you say? It's RSI. It's beautiful, and it just speaks volumes for what we're going to do down the track.
All right, then, with that, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and thank you everyone that went the extra mile on Patreon at the end of the video. All right.
Indeed.
He's been Algared.
He's been Execute, and we're out of here. Take care.
See you, citizens.